Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Tony, a segment on the Truth That Heals podcast. And if you're watching the video, I have no coffee at the moment. So that's just how it is for today. No coffee. I'm out. Anyways, let's continue with the episode. I wanted to get into forgiveness. And I know I've already touched a bit about this, but for today's episode, I really wanted to touch on the experience that I had in the cult that I was in. If you're not familiar, it was the Alliance of the Holy Family International, AHFI, founded by Father Bing Ariano, and he had a bunch of superiors under him who were working with him. One in particular is Agnes Frias. That's her name. Some people call her Mother Agnes, but I don't know. And that's not even her real name, Agnes, from what I'm aware of. She has another name, a real name. Like I said, I wanted to talk about forgiveness. And I know I've touched a bit about this in the past, especially like on short videos, like on Instagram, TikTok, about how the dynamic is unequal for the members and the leadership when it comes to the understanding of forgiveness. Because as a member, you are expected to always be reaching out and begging and crawling for forgiveness. But when it's the leadership who does something wrong, offensive, whatever, they're never the ones who are crawling back saying, I'm sorry. They're never the ones who have to go through a public humiliation. Instead, you are, the member, are expected to forgive and forget. So today I wanted to talk about something that I just remembered recently, and that was a sermon, actually a Bible verse and the sermon that kind of followed after that. And I know this isn't a religious podcast. I'm not here to be giving anyone spiritual nourishment or advice or or any theology. That's not what this podcast is for. This is just a coffee with Tony. I don't have my coffee at the moment, but I think this experience might shed some light on something for somebody out there. So anyways, I am going to read a little bit of the Bible, but maybe this will add context to what I have to say next. So this is Matthew chapter 5, verses 23 to 24. And this is what it says. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there recall that your brother has anything against you, leave your gift there at the altar. Go first and be reconciled with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. All right, that's the end of the Bible verse, just that little part. But I'm bringing this up because I remember there was a time when that was read, and then afterwards, the sermon or the homily given by one of the superiors was this. Note that it's not, the Bible verse here isn't saying if you have something against someone. It says if you know that somebody has something against you. Don't bring your gift to the altar. Don't be telling God, hey, hey, here's my gift, here's my offering. I love you. I love you, love you, love you. When you know that you have caused an offense or you have caused injury on someone else. If you're aware of that, then don't be giving God this like fake praise. Go and make peace. Go and make reconciliation with the person that you have injured. And something just sparked in my mind because for the last several years, the energy was this. The superiors are deeply offended by you, by us, the members. They were always deeply offended because we didn't reach that standard of perfection. Many times, for example, we were sleepy, or I don't know, we were late for prayers or something very small. And they would blow this up into making it feel like it was the worst offense. So by them perpetuating the feeling of shame and guilt, it was continuing this cycle of me and many times other members, begging for forgiveness, crawling, please, we're sorry. This humiliation just continuing nonstop. And I stopped to think after hearing this Bible verse and hearing the superior break it down. I was thinking, wow, I've been saying sorry to people, but to be honest, why am I saying sorry? Because here in this verse, it's talking about when you know you've caused an offense to somebody. Me being sleepy in prayer or me being late to rising or whatever, that is not me causing injury or me causing an offense to someone. And I'll give you another example. I remember one time the superiors, they were saying to me, look, a new member is complaining about you. You need to apologize. And I said, for what? What did I do? Well, he's noticing that you're very sleepy in prayers. And to be honest, that is a scandal. So you're committing the sin of scandal. And I remember, and this is later on in my time in the group, I was already kind of like growing more of a backbone. And I said, I'm not going to apologize for that. And their response is, well, what do you mean you're not going to say sorry for that? You're not going to apologize. He's saying he is scandalized. And my response was, well, too bad. I am sleepy. I am tired. I sacrifice so much for this group. I don't sleep. And if he sees that I'm sleepy, well, then too bad. This is how my natural body is responding to a lack of sleep. If he is scandalized by it, it's not my problem. And I remember the superior was saying, well, I have to call you out a lot of times. I have to call your name, because that's like another form of like discipline. It's like public humiliation. And I said something like, well, then maybe you should be quiet about it, because all you're doing is you're bringing this idea, oh, Ryan is sleepy. Oh, you keep saying it. Why don't you stop talking about it and let the people just pray? Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired, man. And so, but I'm not going to apologize. It was too bad. You know what? Why don't you treat the other members the way you treat me, and let's see if they complain when they get sleepy. Or how about they start getting tired because they lose more sleep? I'll bring the same attitude. Will they be treated the same way? Will they have to apologize? Probably not. But they are my brothers. And anyways, I don't want to get into this huge other discussion. But the point is, in cults, they will, especially like the one that I was in, I know all cults have a bit of differences, but in this example, from what I lived through, they will look for fake reasons to make you feel shame and guilt, and they'll say, oh, you need to do this. You need to go in front of everybody and apologize, because if not, God isn't going to forgive you. We're not going to forgive you. And it's just a double standard. You are expected to do this work. You are expected to bow in front of everybody and to just humble yourself. And the idea in the Bible verse that I was getting from the superior earlier that I mentioned was the importance of reconciliation with, not just with God, but with that person. If you know that you have really screwed up. And I just, now coming back to this, I was just thinking when I heard that, I guess, homily, geez, how many times have I just been saying sorry because I have been pretty much been pushed into a corner where if I don't say sorry, I'm going to be humiliated. I'm going to be shamed. I'm going to be punished. So yes, I would say sorry. But what are they offended? What are they offended about? They're offended that I didn't wake up on time, even though I slept for like only half an hour or whatever. Or they're upset because I had a regular meal when I had been fasting for a whole week, or sometimes I've been fasting for a whole month, and I grabbed like a cookie. Oh, wow, they're offended. I have to apologize for that. However, when they shame you, when they bully you, when they do ridiculous things, your response is supposed to be forgive them, forgive and forget. And if you're having a hard time forgiving and forgetting, then they're going to say the most ridiculous things. Oh, see, you're not praying. You are being attacked by Satan. So it's just so ridiculous that they'll put all of this huge burden of guilting people into feeling that they have to forgive and forget. You shouldn't have any boundaries. And yet they don't have the courage to say sorry. They don't have the humility to say, we screwed up. And so I really believe that there should be an investigation, not on the AHFI, because I feel that's going nowhere. And they always like to flip flop and they like to lie so much that it's so very deceitful from what I witnessed, what I experienced, because they would always like go undercover. They would practice a lot of mental reservations. But I think that there should be a true investigation looking into the canonical practices of Father Bing Arellano, his theology Also the way they treat people, because it's so easy to just say, hey, forgive and forget superiors for their bad things. And it was so easy for them to pounce on the lower members and to make them feel like they will say this is an act of love. This is fraternal correction. But the truth is, it wasn't fraternal correction. I think it was more of an enjoyment that they would get to crush people, to make people feel like nothing, to make people feel that they could only live a happy and holy or blessed life if they were in connection with Father Bing and Agnes and all of them. So yeah, now just to recap again, the sermon that sermon that I mentioned earlier with that Bible verse, before you go and talk to God and bring your gifts, you know you've screwed up. You know you hurt somebody. Make peace with that person. How many times have people been hurt by the Alliance of the Holy Family International movement, or by Father Bing, by Agnes, by other superiors, and them not saying we're sorry, or them not making a change? So that's not reconciliation. That is them instead hiding their behavior and allowing for abuse to continue because there's no accountability. So, anyways, I wish everyone a blessed, a great day wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing. And if you'd like to support my channel and get me a coffee or two, please go ahead and go to buymeacoffee.com/truth.h7, and I'll be leaving a link so you can feel free, buy me a coffee and help this channel to continue because it is a lot of work. Anyways, have a great day, y'all.